Hey everybody, it's Lydia the TallyStitcher here for Flosstube. I believe this is number 27. It is January 25th, 2026, so this is the first Flosstube of the new year. I posted about a month ago, a little more than a month ago, after a long hiatus, showing you some progress that I'd done, and now I have a little bit of time to show some more progress that I've made. I'm still doing other crafts. So sometimes I post them on my Instagram, which is TallyStitcher. Otherwise, I've been popping in here when I've kind of made enough progress on some projects that I've talked about and feel like I want to share. So over the Christmas break time, well, over Christmas and in December, I worked on some gifts that I did not finish in time for Christmas. So they're going to become Mother's Day projects or Mother's Day gifts. And then I worked on some Christmas stuff, and then I had some new starts. So my oldest whip comes out during Christmas, and that is this Design Works Jim Shore 12 Days of Christmas Santa. I think I started this back in 2026, and some years he gets worked on, some years he doesn't. But I wanted to pull him out this year, and excuse everything falling everywhere. That's just how this is. So I pulled him out this year to stitch on him kind of during Christmas time. What I have to do with this whip is it helps when I backstitch some of the animals so I can kind of see what I'm doing, and I can see why I stopped working on this for a little bit. The gold for the 3 gold rings is like that really crunchy DMC gold metallic. It's awful. So I think I maybe did a little more gold, and I'm like, ooh, this is terrible. And so then I was like, well, let me move over to like one of these golden gooses, and as you'll see, the golden goose is about the same color as the background of, this is a part of Santa's coat. Very difficult to kind of stitch this for me because the colors are so similar, so like the lighting has to be really well for me to work on this one. But I got most of this bird done and considered backstitching it before I put this away again for however long. I also worked on the swan over here. Similar kind of things, like it's a lot of white and variations of white, but then we have to kind of pick out the background here. And then I was like, maybe don't work on the birds anymore, work on the animals anymore. So I came up here and actually started some of this red of his coat. And for the longest time, whenever I looked at this piece, it always kind of looked like a mountain, like Mount Fuji to me, but now it like really looks like a volcano or a mountain. So now I'm like extra amused by it. But I haven't worked on this in a couple weeks, pretty much since after Christmas when I started my New Year's New Start, which I'll show you in a little bit. But that is my progress on the 12 Days of Christmas, the Jim Shore Santa, with some more birds on that one there. So the 2 gift projects were for my mom and my mother-in-law. So if either of you all are watching, do not watch forward from here. I don't think you are, but you're gonna spoil your now Mother's Day gifts. And that took a lot of grace to be like, all right, I really can't finish these in time with the other stuff I had going on around the holidays, and you know, taking that piece of, all right, it's not gonna get done. So for my mom, I've been working on this ukulele. I'm gonna make it into a ukulele. I don't have the cover picture of it, but I did bring the back stitch. This is by RybkaStitch on Etsy. It's called Guitar Autumn. I'm gonna make it more look like a ukulele, but you'll get the idea of what it'll kind of look like when it's very done, like completely done. That's just the back stitching chart. But I've been kind of working on this, and so you can actually see the shape of the guitar / ukulele in this now with these cute little flowers. It's being done on a 14 count, this like printed blue stuff you can get like Michael's. It's not really showing up super well in the lighting here, but it's modeled. And oop, that's Biscuit, Mr. Biscuit, and it has these lovely like what I think they kind of look like hibiscus flowers in that kind of coral and in teal. Sorry for all the noise. That's that's our baby boy Biscuit, sir. Biscuit. So yeah, so doing this with mostly called for colors. I think I had to sub one out for like a different shade, but it'll go up here and do the part of the ukulele body, and then the neck, and then a lot of back stitching. And so what I'm going to do is only do the 4 strings for the ukulele, and I've considered writing down here, charting out ukulele, because my mom plays ukulele and it's kind of funny. Sir, hi. It's my kitten, my 3-year-old kitten freaking out about something outside. But that'll be for my mom for Mother's Day, and I'm sure she'll love it, and I feel better about not rushing it now and just making it a Mother's Day gift. So that's that one. The next Mother's Day gift is for my mother-in-law, and this is afternoon tea. This is from the Design Connection. These are designed by Linda Bird. Picked this up at a local antique shop, this chart pack. So I'm working on orange blossom tea for my mother-in-law. I'm doing it on a tea towel using waste canvas, and it is probably one of the hardest projects that I've ever worked on. I am not a fan of stitching on linen, and the waste canvas is like white on white, so I really struggled with this, and that's kind of why I gave up having these be ready for Christmas, because I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Even at the pace I was doing it, I couldn't do it. So this is my progress now, and like now it feels very doable to have this done by Mother's Day. What had happened is like these blues are so similar, and I had like stitched a bunch in like one of those other slightly different medium blues and had to frog a bunch, and was not a fan of that. But now I just have like this fill in here, a little bit more in here to finish the border, and the back and the letters, the stitching for the letters, and then do the back stitching to finish the orange blossom tea part, to kind of pick out some of the details. I'm probably going to make it a little less 1990s back stitching, which is super angular, and kind of maybe flow it out, make it more of a modern back stitching, which is what I think we're kind of used to, which is just less outlining every single stitch and more just giving the emphasis on stuff. But so this is being done on like a blank tea towel. It does not have the aida, and this is a 14 count waste canvas. I've never used waste canvas before. So yeah, if I do another one of these for her, like from the pack or for someone else, I'm going to try that other more fusible stuff that you can iron on, maybe, or just a more modern waste canvas. This was something I just was gifted and wanted to use that was in stash, and oh boy, like it stopped sparking joy pretty quickly. But now like seeing it, how I'm like, oh, I'm so close, like so close, like it's a really good progress. So I think there's no issue of getting it done by Mother's Day. So that's that one. And then I took a pause for all of those for a little bit to have a new year, new start. I had planned, or I had kind of hoped I would have the fabric for a certain projects, but it was caught in the holiday kerfuffle of like just the post office and delivery stuff, and it did not get here nearly in time to have it be a new year, new start. So I ended up choosing another new year, new start, which is the Hawthorne Hill Sampler by Rosewood Manor. Something I've been eyeballing for a while, and just finally decided to kit up. Did it in DMC, did a DMC conversion, because it calls for Weeks Dye Works, I think, which if I hadn't wanted to immediately start it, to have it be my new year, new start, I might have gone the way of getting the weeks for it, but I did not. And now I hear my other kitty cat yelling. Miss Cora, ma'am. A lot of cat noises today. So this is being done on a 16 count milk chocolate. And I have started stitching it crooked in the frame. It is not, the frame is crooked, the fabric's fine. And this is my progress thus far. So I really booked it through the alphabet. So I could get to literally any of the colors down here, or start working over here, which is where that beautiful bird is. So I did a ton of progress on this very quickly to get this. And what I'm doing is I'm leaving this part empty. This would be the L and the M, which is my initials, conveniently. So I thought it would be cute to do that in a different color when I finish the sampler. and I haven't decided what color that'll be, but I kind of hemmed and hawed sometimes with these greens because they're a little bit different. Because even though I pulled the DMC equivalents-ish from a couple different charts, like the contrasting was not quite working out to me, but like in different lighting, it works enough. So that was good. I think I've had to frog a couple times in the letters. Like I would be off by a stitch, or there's also, I've noticed some interesting either random stitches that are errors in the chart or something. And I would get off a little bit, but I think it was just in the letters. I don't think I've had any issues down here with having to frog anything for the flowers. But yeah, I did a ton of work like that first kind of weekend / week I started working on this, and then I've cooled off a bit. I haven't picked this up in a little bit because I went back to working on the Mother's Day gifts with the idea of like, oh, I can work on these on Mondays for Mother's Day or whatever, and sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But this is my progress on Hawthorne Hill Sampler, and I do like the colors a lot. I like these kind of pinks. I think in the Weeks Dye Works, they're like hibiscus and sockeye, and you know, I just kind of I used a couple different charts. Not every conversion chart has every dye works to DMC. Some of them are still empty, so just kind of eyeballed it and kind of looked at the chart to figure out what I wanted to put in there. And also taking into account like this milk chocolate is lighter than whatever they have as the stitching of the fabric on the model. I thought that was too dark, so that's why I had this milk chocolate. But that's the progress on this one, and that is all of my stitching progress. Then the fabric finally came after I'd contacted the seller, and apparently gotten damaged and returned and all this different stuff. But this was a fabric that I got for the Snow Queen, which is something that I picked up off of Mercari it's Jo Sonja's folk art collection. It's her Snow Queen. I think the last time I meant to show you guys, I'll show you this a little bit. This is a hand drawn chart, which this is my first one of having one of these, but I just want to show y'all like it's hand drawn, like colored pencil hand drawn, which is fun. It's from 1985, so that's part of it. So then I picked up, you know, all of the floss today because the fabric came in last week, and the fabric I got for it is an 16 count light blue Aida, and it's opalescent, and it's by Hand Dyes by Jim. So I picked this up, nice and sparkly. Not really seeing any modeling or anything in it, but that's what I chose to start this. So once this arrived, I've been hemming and hawing about starting it or waiting still, because this was going to be my new start, but it wasn't here on time. But we're about to have a lot of cold weather come in tomorrow. It's from that big winter storm that the Midwest is currently experiencing, and like Alabama and stuff like that. I don't think we're getting ice. They thought we were going to get snow last weekend, and it did not get cold enough. I don't think we're having ice either. I think it's just going to be really cold for most of the week. And I was like, all right, well, I can start stitching it like on a really cold night because she's the Snow Queen. So I'm looking forward to that. And she's so shiny. Something that made me laugh when I was kitting this up today is, like I said, the chart is from 1985. So it has the floss you can do in DMC or Bates. I have not worked in Bates or sought Bates or even to see if I could get Bates. Michaels has, you know, DMC and Inker sometimes, and maybe something else. No, that's about it. So down here for some of the back stitching, it calls for just DMC gold and DMC silver, which I texted my husband about it, and he was like, they probably mean like that metallic stuff. And I was like, oh, the crunchy stuff that comes in the kits that I don't like. And he's like, yeah, it's probably that. So what I ended up doing was I decided to go with the light effects. I picked a silver and a gold light effects DMC because I like the way they felt enough. The pearl metallic still felt too crunchy to me, And I think I've worked with the diamant before, and to me it looked too thin for like what will be laying against the cotton floss. So yeah, so I picked up, I think it was just silver, maybe the light gold they had for the light effects. And it'll happen, it'll be in here. The clouds are apparently done in silver down here. And then the gold accents are in this, what they call the Aurora Borealis here, and in like the horse's reins and stuff. What's interesting for this pattern is like this description of where stuff goes. And like maybe that really helps with the hand-drawn nature of the chart, because some of the colors are pretty distinct. But like I said, it looks like it was done with a colored pencil. So I could see if like, since they're not super unique symbols, it's really a color and sort of a symbol slash a slash. Yeah, like in here, like it's just, sorry, my camera won't figure it out, but they are not really, yeah. You can look this up online. You can find the back of these online. But yeah, they're not distinct symbols. They are the colors of the charts. So yeah, so having it's object, colors, and outline on the color explanation, which is nice. It also has more instructions under stitching. So I kind of appreciate that, kind of experiencing how this cross stitch pamphlet was put together and what this person thought was necessary and important to include. Jo Sonja, when I looked her up, she seems like more of a folk artist, and some of her designs became cross stitches, but she's not necessarily a cross stitch artist. It says the needle artist for this is Lois Pialorsi. I have not looked her up to know if that meant she was the one who stitched the model or the one who charted it. Maybe I'll look into that piece, but yep. So this was, it says, for a complete catalog of our products, please send $2 refunded with first order to Jo Sonja's Folk Art Studio Inc., which is in Eureka, California. So glad to have that there. Like I said, I might start that. I might start it today. I might start it tomorrow. It'll start getting cold today. It's just been kind of icky and rainy today when I ventured out, like to get my little coffee and run to Michael's. It was busy at Michael's. It was busy at the grocery store. Like for the grocery store on a Sunday, it's not unusual to be busy. And although like we are predicted to get this really cold weather, it's not, I don't think we're thinking it's going to be like super windy. I don't know. Actually, no, there's going to be wind chill. That's going to be like almost dangerous wind chill for, North Florida. Which means I'm going to bundle up a little bit for work and just, not go out. If I can help it, I guess. I mean, I don't mind it being super cold, but I don't have the wardrobe for it because I'm in Florida. Apart from that, anything else been going on? The husband is starting to work on a new to him hobby. It's a hobby he's been wanting to start for a while. It's chainmail or just making mail. So we've been on a Tractor Supply run for that to get materials. He's been doing a lot of knitting. For Christmas, the challenge for my mother-in-law was to give either handmade items or edible items, consumable items, or to give things people could make. So we all kind of got a lot of little craft items. So like embroidery kits or macrame kits or our favorite snacks. And his sister got him some nice yarn from a certain company that I won't be able to tell you because I'm not a knitter. But he's already been knitting a scarf from that's very beautiful. It looks like a landscape. And he's like, oh, I'm going to give it back to my sister for Christmas. So he's like, I'm getting an early start on my Christmas projects this year, because he too struggled to get things kind of done in time from when we were given the challenge of what Christmas presents should be like this year. So I found that fun, but yeah, we didn't know how ambitious to be for that there. Apart from that, I started watching Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, before I decided to film this right now while I have the house kind of quiet. I went to a writing circle yesterday that my friend runs once a month and did some some kind of world building in that I've been wanting to explore a little bit. So that was fun to kind of flex the writing muscle again. And then work is still kind of touch and go. We're not caught up yet. I think once we get caught up, that'll be a less stressful thing. So I've been having to stay late sometimes just to make some progress, and I don't love having to do that, but it is what it is. So yeah, I hope y'all had fun with your New Year, New Starts. If you did 12 by 12, if you did, I've seen people doing some of these January blessing samplers. It's the first time I've heard about that, where you kind of start a little sampler in January to start and finish in January, so you have good luck for the whole month. Of course, like on like the 15th, 16th, 17th, I was like, I wonder if I could start one and finish it. But I'm like, no, you should not. You should focus on something and not do another little sampler. Even though there are some other cute little Christmassy, holiday-y type things that came out that weren't really samplers. They're kind of like motifs that would be in a sampler. But yeah, I did not necessarily take up that challenge to do the January blessing sampler. Maybe I'll try to remember to do that next year. Assuming the Stitchy Bug is still living in the house. I was also doing some diamond dot painting the other day, because I kind of got just inspired to work on that project for a couple days. So just kind of letting where my little hobbies want to pop up and following the creative spirit where it takes me. So thank you for joining me. I will see you when I see you. Hope next time with more progress on stuff, maybe some finishes. Maybe some more new starts. In February, I don't know if I do anything. I don't finish February as a thing that I participated in, maybe. And then in March would be a birthday start if I wanted to do that. So I don't know. So y'all take care if you're in the Midwest or if you're in that big storm. Stay warm. I hope you're doing okay. And then those of us who are going to get the dregs of that storm, bundle up. It's coming. So I'll tell y'all bye for now.